Hello friends, how are you? Welcome to In the Studio. Today I want to show you how I've made this percussive build here, so let's have a quick listen. Okay, so you can probably hear there that this transition effect has a really loose, shaky timing and feel to it, which I did completely on purpose. I think this type of effect sound can be a nice alternative to your standard drum roll. So I want to walk you through how I made it, so let's dive in. Firstly, I'm going to mute this one, and we'll recreate this. So I'm just going to plot down a MIDI note here for 4 bars, and then we'll solo this while we're having a look at it. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So this is the loop that I'm going to use to make this effect sound. Here's what it sounds like. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is create a loop. Let's just zoom in here a little bit. And I'm going to select sustained on our loop type. And then, let's see, let's drag the endpoint maybe over here. And the start of the loop right here. Okay, that works there, but I want to also pull over the start position right here as well. Okay, that works. So essentially, to create this build effect, what I'll be doing is automating the endpoint of the loop as the build progresses, like this. Okay, but we need to add a few more bits of automation and effects to really make this come to life. So the first thing I'm going to do is hop to the zone tab. When I made this for real, I pitched it down 1 semitone to fit it into the track a little bit better. So I'm just going to do that just because. So I'll pitch it down 99 cents. It just sat better there. And then let's enable this filter. So we'll select a low pass here, and I'm going to pull back on the resonance a little bit down to around 30% or so. And then I'll automate the cutoff to open up as this build progresses. Like that. So let's create an automation clip for this filter. Okay, but I don't really want this filter automation curve to be so linear. So what I can do here is just give it a little bit more movement. And this might be something that you might want to automate by hand, but you can also just maybe unsnap the grid so we have a free-flowing timing here, and just put in a few points here so it's moving around a little bit more. Even just subtle little movements can go a long way in creating a little bit more of a human feel, make it a little bit more interesting. And you can just go crazy with it if you want, but let's hear how that sounds. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I could fiddle with it forever, but you get my point. Maybe give it some more movement. Okay, so let's move on. Now the next thing I need to do is, this needs some reverb. So let's drop on a reverb here. I could use a auxiliary track for this as well. That's a completely viable option, but I think I'm just going to put the effects on the insert for this sound for no particular reason, just because. So I'm going to add a reverb here. I might turn the pre-delay down a little bit, and yeah, give it a fairly long decay. Maybe the mix of the reverb is something that we can automate as well. Let me give it a bit of a low cut here. Let's see how this sounds with some reverb on it, and let's turn on the drums and have a listen to this. Okay, so let's automate the mix of the reverb here. Let's turn this back to cell, and I'll maybe go up around, I don't know, around 70% or so. Something like that. And let's see how it sounds while we move the endpoint of this loop as well. We could do that by hand. I mean, we can try some delay there as well. Might even go up a little bit more. We could see how some delay sounds on here. Why not? All right. See, I might just pull back on the filter a little bit. I don't know if I want it to necessarily open up quite that much. But I mean, that's essentially how I made it. And then what you can do, I mean, you can experiment with different reverbs and delays. I mean, you could even, you know, maybe automate in some auto panning in there if you want to give it some more movement. Might add an EQ afterwards too, just to roll off any unnecessary low end, perhaps. Give it a little bit of a dip on the very top end. Or if you want, you can give it a high shelf and increase it. It all depends on what, you know, what you need out of the effect. But in this case, I'm going to just pull back a little bit on the top end. And I'm just going to drop in Edison here. And then I can maybe automate that loop point by hand as we're recording. So I'm just going to go record on play here, and we'll just move this by hand. So let's have a go here. So something like that, and then you can do a few takes on it if you want. But that's essentially how I made this effect sound. So hopefully you found this video useful. Yeah, take care everyone. I'll catch you soon. Later.